How do I select a household to interview? We need to pick a random household for each location in your sample. There are 3 different scenarios that you may face. If you have access to a complete housing list and it's accurate, use it to pick a house randomly. Then your work is done. But be skeptical of such lists. In practice, they are rarely accurate. If no accurate list exists and there are around 20 or fewer households in a community, draw a map with the help of a local person, such as a health worker. Assign numbers to the households and pick one at random. You can use a random number table for this. Select the number randomly by letting a pencil in your hand drop onto the table. Just use only the number of digits that you need. In this case, it might be 2 digits up to 20, so just take the first 2 digits of the number you pick out of the table. If it's not a number you can use, just move on down the list until you find a number that you can use. Select this as your reference house. Then visit the next nearest house to conduct your interview. This ensures that any house not on the map also has a chance of being picked for interview. And the third scenario? If there are more than 20 households in a community and you don't have an accurate list, talk to a local person. Often, a local health worker or volunteer can help you. Use a large sheet of paper from a flip chart or the back of the questionnaire. Ask them to locate the center of the community. This might be a plaza, marketplace, or temple, for example. If there is no obvious center, try to pick somewhere in the middle of the community. Someone local will know where that is. Add local landmarks to the map. This might include temples, mosques, stupas, shops, schools, or cricket pitches. Also add roads, footpaths, rivers, and streams. Divide the community into around 2 to 5 or even more sections, using roads or local landmarks for convenience. Each section should have more or less the same number of households. Number the sections. Select one at random using a random number table. Add more detail to the chosen section, like roads and pathways. If it's still very large, then divide it again into 2 to 5 or more subsections with about the same number of households in each, and number the subsections. Then select one of those at random, using a random number table. Continue the same process until there are few enough houses that you can count them comfortably. I like to use around 10 to 15. Assign numbers to the houses and pick one at random. This is your reference house. Then go to the next nearest house. That's where you go to conduct your interview. This kind of sampling is called segmentation sampling. If you need to complete more than one set of questionnaires in a single community, you'll need to go right back to the beginning of this section for each set. Each of the 19 interview locations should be selected randomly using this process. Always update the map and keep it for future reference. You can use the same technique, segmentation sampling, in densely populated urban areas. Some urban areas can contain hundreds of households, but with the help of a local leader, you will still be able to divide the community, firstly into large sections of about the same size. You then select one of the sections randomly. You continue the process just as we did in the rural area until you come to a subsection that is of manageable size. Then you select a household at random just as before. The definition of a household is a group of persons who share the same kitchen or hearth or who eat from the same cooking pot.